Hello and welcome to a casual football fan mock draft. Just gonna do the first round and let's see how this goes. So, with the mock draft, I'm gonna do what I think will happen based off of free agency. And for each team, I've looked at some stuff, like I have their depth charts pulled up, looking at how their team's been built, how their GMs and their franchises, like the prospects they do like and tend to like, and just a bunch of stuff. So yeah, Caleb Williams to the Bears. Easy choice, he's gonna go there. No questions about it. Washington's a weird spot. They've been linked to Daniels and May a ton. I'm gonna choose Daniels, mainly because they have Cliff Kingsbury, who had a similar QB in terms of strengths and weaknesses with Kyler Murray. Um, it's a team that needs a QB to start now, so I think Daniels will be fun because he has a run game element, and I feel like his strengths kind of matches up with the coaching staff and the way the team is. But it seems he's just gonna take a quarterback. It's just who. Patriots are a weird spot. I'm gonna take Drake May. Like they could just use, like they could do anything here. They could trade down, take Marvin Harrison Jr., take a quarterback. I'll take May for him, which I'm just gonna say I'm more of a D line guy in terms of the position I know. But a quarterback guy I know says that Drake May, his issues would be better if he sits. And they have Jacoby Brissett slated to start, so yeah, Brissett's solid. Like that's fine. You could roll into the season with Brissett and be fine with that. Whereas with Washington, they have Marcus Mariota, who hasn't been a starter caliber player since he was with the Titans. So yeah, long time ago. Here, MHJ, no question. Easy pick, great prospect. Yeah. Here I'm gonna do my first trade with the Vikings to the Chargers. So I'm only gonna care about the first round in this mock, so any like future capital or late round capital doesn't matter to me. And with this mock draft, you kind of have to overpay if you want to trade up. So it's a little whack, but who cares? Vikings trading up for JJ McCarthy, who I think is the most pro-ready QB in this draft class. I think all these QBs are on the same tier of prospect of just good prospects, but they do all have flaws. And yeah, McCarthy's nice. It's good against pressure. I think a lot of the hate's a bit overblown or unjustified when like there's concerns with them for sure, but there's concerns for all of these dudes. So yeah, like these two spots are nice for the Bears and Vikings. Like they have really nice teams built on offense. So whatever QB they take will probably be good. Giants have been linked to Malik Neighbors. I think Roma Dunze would be a nicer fit, just because Neighbors feels a little bit redundant with what they have, but why not? This is a team that lost one of the best running backs in football, one of the players that kind of won games for him. I mean, that's how good Barkley is. Like, this team's not that talented at all. You have like one, let's say, good or better player in Andrew Thomas, and then Waller's a question mark. And besides that, it's very just needs talent. Defense could use talent too, especially in the back end, but it's fine enough. Now this is where I'm gonna do a crazy pick here. So you have Callahan, both Callahans here, the O-line coach and his son as the head coach. I think they're gonna take a tackle, especially with the moves they made, signing Calvin Ridley. They have DeAndre Hopkins, they have Trayvon Burks. But they have a good enough, even signed Tony Pollard as a running back. So they're gonna run wide zone stuff and do that type of offense that we all know and love. So I do think they're gearing up to taking a offensive tackle. They've also made a bunch of trades for defense. Like they're trying to be a really good team next year. And it's tough because like you have Joe Alt here, but I think Amarius Mims is a better prospect. He's a lot. He's more reminiscent of like the higher end OTs, especially if you just like look at the way he looks. Like he almost looks like Tyron Smith, where he just looks so fit, even though he's 6'7", 340. Like he just like he looks good. He doesn't move like it, and he moves so well, which is gonna help so much for when they do their wide zone stuff. And he has the highest potential as a pass blocker too. So I just find it hard for a team not to fall in love, especially Callahan, who was there when Trent Williams was drafted with Washington. Jedrick Wills with the Browns, who Wills was a really good athlete. He has his own issues, but it's not a lot of it's not because of his athleticism. And then you had I'm pretty sure it was with the Cowboys when Tyron Smith was drafted. So he's seen a ton of good old tackles, and yeah, Williams will be nice. Falcons. This one I'm gonna do kind of a crazy pick and just take Latu. Because with the Falcons, when we look at their team, I know Dallas Turner's kind of always mocked to him, and I usually do that, but I want to change things up a little bit. Just because, like here, their offense is good. Like this is good enough to win the South. Defense needs work, especially at edge. So you do have Raheem Morris and Jimmy Lake. And they do have like two speedy guys off the edge, but I think they just need just a different element. And yeah, they just need more pass rush besides Grady Jarrett. Just get him some help. Like Ebiketti's fast, like he's gonna get pressure just by being fast. But Latu's the guy that just wins. Like he plays like just like an NFL player in college. He was so good, and I think he has like the highest. I don't want to say highest floor, but he's someone that could contribute now as a pass rusher. It doesn't mean he'll end up being the best pass rusher, but I just think for a team like the Falcons that just need pass rush right now, Latu fits. The Bears are tough because they could go with wide receiver, edge, or tackle. They've been linked to these three positions. But I'm gonna do a crazy pick, and I'm gonna take Joe Alt. They do have I forget his name, the tackle's name. If he was a better player, I would remember. Like Christian something, Christian Jones. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. Braxton Jones, yeah. If he was a good player, I would remember his name. But just get Kyler Murray a left tackle of the future. And Alt looks like someone that could be a good pass blocker. Like he moves pretty well for his size. He's kind of a tall, lumbering dude who struggles a bit with power because of that, but I think you're fine if he loses with power. Which is kind of a weird thing to say, but just so that way, like Caleb is someone that could move around the pocket and just do crazy stuff if he loses with power. So yeah, who cares? Caleb will make him right. I could see edge being a pick here too, especially with Dallas Turner. But Alt's just so good. Jets are tough. They could use a ton of things too, but we'll go with Rome Odunze. Right now, their wide receivers are Mike Williams, Xavier Gibson, and Garrett Wilson. It's a nice core, but I just think you have to go with someone that could contribute right now. And that someone's Rome Odunze. Chargers are a weird pick. Like, they could just use a lot of talent. I think the Chargers would be a nice Terrion Arnold pick. Especially since they're gonna run like the Michigan, I think the Michigan DC went to their team. Blanking on his name. And you have Harbaugh here too. So they've probably seen Terran Arnold play in college, and I think some of their picks are going to be like that, like guys that they just know are good in college. They're going to take, and yeah, like he's a really good cornerback prospect. Broncos are a weird team. They're going to need a ton of talent too. And it's tough because like, what would Sean Payton want? I'm gonna go with Verse. It's kind of weird to see Dallas Turner fall, but Verse, I don't think he's that good. But some teams are gonna love his power profile. I think he's just an okay prospect, but teams will like him. So yeah, give him to the Broncos. Like it's weird because they do need a quarterback. They're gonna start Jarrett Stidham. It's like, would they take Bo Nix this high? Sean Payton might, but who knows? It's a weird spot. Raiders are a weird spot too. Antonio Pierce just wants someone that has overcome adversity, which is something he said, someone that's going to be a dog, and who could be better than that than Quinyon Mitchell? This dude has a crazy athletic profile, as well as, well, being a good outside cornerback. So, yeah, it'll be nice for us, for the Raiders, because they could use another outside guy. I think he'll fit well with Patrick Graham. And the Saints, they would definitely not take Dallas Turner. Let's say Fuaga. I think Fuaga would be nice because he could play left tackle or guard. So if Trevor Penning sucks, which he probably will, and probably isn't a good player, you could have him at tackle or James Hurst. Or you could play Fuaga at guard or James Hurst at guard. So they can have some flexibility and he'll be good in a run game. Now the Colts. This is a team that just loves athletes. Dallas Turner is just a bit too small though. It just feels so weird to have him drop. The team trades up for him. Which one would trade up? I could see one of these teams trading up. Yeah, it's a tough choice. But we're gonna do it. We'll just say the Cardinals trade up for Dallas Turner. I'm gonna have to overpay just because of the way this mock draft is. Like this might not even be accepted. And it was. Okay, cool. That works. They'll probably give up a ton of compensation, but Cardinals have a ton of picks. Their team, if we just take a peek, wherever they are, this seems kind of in a similar boat to, I don't want to say the Giants, but in terms of like they just need more high-end talent. So you're gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr., who's gonna be a really great player. Their O-line's okay. Like the interior could use more work, but you could just take that later in their draft. Trey McBride's really good. Like you already have one of your star players as a receiver. You're gonna slot another guy. That's gonna be great. And defense could just use a ton of work, especially at edge. I do like B.J. Ojulari. Zayvon Collins is kind of whatever. Gardick's cool. It's probably their best edge defender. And they do drop their edges in coverage quite a bit. And Turner could do that. He'll give him a ton of speed and athleticism while being able to play through tackles and just use a long arm or just beat him off the edge. and being able to drop in coverage, so he just kind of fits everything they'd want. And Chris Ballard just loves picks. Like, Ballard's addicted to picks, so he'll be fine with trading down for a good enough compensation. Seattle. Ooh. Now, what would Seattle do here? I think Troy Fontenot would be a nice pick because their guards aren't good. It's tough because, like, you have no offense, but you're starting Anthony Bradford and Tremaine Ingram. And you have Watimi. So it's tough because I think this team is going to be one that's going to try to win now. Their defense is nice. You could use another cornerback. But what they do, Brock Bowers? It's so tough because what would they do? Yeah, like later on in these picks, it's going to be a lot more tougher. I just feel like you could talk yourself into so much different picks and ideas, but yeah. Because Seattle's are kind of a weird team where they just, like, they've looked at a ton of O linemen too. It's just so weird to have Brock Bowers fall though. Like, he's a really talented player. He's a better prospect than a lot of these dudes. It's just hard to justify taking a tight end early. Because if he falls, I don't know who would take him. But let's go with Fatina. They just need guard help so badly. Hometown kid, so it's a nice pick. And now Jaguars. They're a weird team too, where like some of the good players and prospects might not fit. Like their O line's pretty set. If you draft the rookie, I don't think any of them are gonna start. They could use another receiving weapon. Like their O line's fine. You could try to find a Cam Robinson replacement, but it just feels like too much. Um, it just feels like too much just for a backup right now. They could get another wide receiver like Zay Jones and Gabe Davis. Shouldn't be the guys that stop you from taking guy round one, but it is a ton of an investment. Defense could use work. They could use an edge guy pretty badly too. They could use another DB too. Like this team could use a ton. I don't think that's like Brock Bowers because of Evan Ingram, who's been pretty much their wide receiver one to an extent. And it's tough, but might have to go with Brian Thomas. Just because he kind of fits what Balky would like. Just super athletic outside wide receiver. Like, how could you not fall in love? Especially this RAS score. Ooh. Okay, Bengals. Tackle spots are pretty much set. So if I go here, yeah, Trent Brown, Orlando Brown, that's fine. Wide receiver is a bit weird. I don't know if T. Higgins is gonna want to play for him. Um, Man, this team would be nice with Brock Bowers, but it's tough though because you have two defensive tackles here, and they could use defensive tackles. Wait, hold on, am I tripping? Oh wow, they signed Sheldon Rankins. I completely missed this. Okay, you know what? Scratch that. Brock Bowers going to Cincinnati. Don't even have to think twice. Like DB seem fine enough. They're good at edge. It'll be nice to get a DT, so that way these two dudes don't have to play too much. But Shannon Rankins is a really good player right now too, so yeah. Just get Burrow some more offensive weapons, because Mike Gesicki, Drew Sample, and Tanner Hudson shouldn't, like, that's not gonna cut it. They're gonna run a ton of spread stuff, and Bowers is a fine enough blocker, especially at his size. Um, it's not popping up, but he is kind of small. Alright, Rams. Well, this is a tough pick. Like, the Rams have put a ton of investment into their cornerback room. So if we look at their depth chart, Rams are a weird team where, man, like Aaron Donald retired. That's so tough. That sucks so much. Oh, what is this? 2023. Hmm. Okay. So Rams. Man, I don't know. They haven't really shown a ton of interest in like one type of prospect, but the way they're built, they could use a DT now. They could use an edge. I think a DT would get more playing time. Their old line, like they signed two starters. Like this isn't that bad. If you get a wide receiver later on, maybe one more running back. Stafford's cool. Probably was the best quarterback last year based off of how they played. Higby's hurt, so he's not playing. Brock Bowers would have been interesting. But defensively, like the DB room's completely overhauled. Got Darius Williams back. Trey White's here. Cameron Curl. Like with the way things are set up, they could take a DT. The question is whom? Whom will they take? I think it's got to be Johnny Newton. Johnny Newton's such a good pass rusher. Like he's so good. Any game you watch of him is a highlight tape. That's how good he is. And I think that that part could translate a ton. So like Bobby Brown's a nose tackle. Kobe Turner, he kind of shifts around. Like he's like a bit of a flex guy. So you're getting another guy that could be like a true three tech. Because Johnny Newton's not good at taking on double teams, but if you're looking for an Aaron Donald replacement, he's not going to be Aaron Donald, but he could be really good. All right, Steelers. So, who could they get? Kind of a weird team too. All these teams are weird, just flat out. But what would this team do? Hmm. What would this team even want? This is a team that could use a wide receiver for sure. This team could use a center. This could be a total Graham Barton spot. And then Byron Murphy is still here too. Oh, they have Dean Lowry. That's interesting. Yeah, this team kind of just like changed up their whole defense. But would the pick be Graham Barton? They've definitely shown some interest in them. Who else have they shown interest in? I think they've shown interest in Cooper DeJean, how do you say his name? Oh, something found. Yeah, they've shown some interest in a ton of O linemen. And JC Latham's here too. Man, it's a tough pick. Will they go with guard? Latham or Barton? That's the choice. Actually, I'll just go with Latham. He could play guard or tackle. Maybe scratch that. He's more of a guard. Like, this is a true guard pick. And why not? Just get like a Mauler inside. I don't think he's good enough or has the range to play tackle. Like, he legit looks like a guard when you watch him, but it's kind of the one thing with the Steelers, they could use more talent. I don't think wide receivers. I mean, AD Mitchell would be nice. Keon Coleman, getting a fast boy, Xavier Worthy. Like, yeah, there's some nice options, but let's get the O line. Ooh, now the Dolphins are in an interesting spot because where are they? This is a team that needs trench help. They lost Christian Wilkins, which is sad. They could use anyone on the interior. I don't know if Barton's a huge play for him now because they could use guard help really badly. But you don't necessarily need center. So Byron Murphy it is. It's a really good prospect. Alright. Eagles. Cooper DeJean. They needed a nickel back after Avonte Maddox left, and Cooper DeJean is probably the best nickel in the class. Or one of the best ones, so that'll be a really fun pick. And now the Chargers. Oli Fashanu. I'm not a huge Oli Fashanu fan. I don't think he's that good. He's someone that could play guard. Like, I don't know. He's a weird player. I think his weaknesses are gonna be a bit too, how you say, it's gonna be shown more in the NFL level than it could have been at just the at the college level. But yeah, Olu's here. They get two guys that Michigan's played against. Just two guys that Harbaugh could trust. Now the Cowboys. Cowboys are a team that just needs O-line help. I forget who's starting for them, but since Tyler Smith's projected to play at tackle, they have a random dude at center and a random dude at guard. This honestly could be a Graham Barton pick. Like, JPJ's good, but Barton's just a better overall. Just a better overall O lineman. So yeah. Packers. Man, who would the Packers even like? They're a team that's always crazy with their picks. It's like who fits what the Packers would want. I don't think they would want Wiggins. Kool-Aid? I just don't know if they would go wide receiver though. Like the Packers team, like yeah, they could get a better wide receiver, but this core is fine enough. Like it's a good group. It's just sure it doesn't have like the elite player, but they can use O-line help. But they don't really invest in it in the first round. And then defensively, I mean, would they go DB? What would the Packers even want? Would they go JPJ? Man, man, oh man. I have no idea who they would even need. Um, would they go with safety? Tavondre Sweats? No. Because they could use linebacker. Hmm. Like the guys that they've looked at in depthly are more like third round pick type guys. So yeah, tough choice here. I think DB might be the choice. Like you can't take a linebacker here, right? That'd be a bit too crazy. Hmm. Let's see, because you have Kenny Clark, Wyatt, Brooks, and Slayton. Would you take a guy round one? Would you take a DB? I don't know what DB they would prefer here. It's like Nate Wiggins as an athlete is really nice, but he's a bit skinny. We'll take him. He'll be the new Green Bay Packer. Tampa Bay. Ooh. It's tough for JPJ because he's a pure center, and usually these type of guys don't get taken in the top 20. You could think of guys like Frank Ragnow or uh, Tyler Linderbaum. Like some of these are really good center prospects, but they just get taken late. It's just the nature of the position. This team could use a lot. I, I know they traded away one of their cornerbacks. Yeah, this team could use cornerbacks. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Heck yeah. Oh, and the Colts are here. Ooh, that's nice. And the Colts do love their RAS guys. Whoa. Look at that. 9.99. Yeah. This team could use more receiver help. Make sure you have Josh Downs, Pierce, and Michael Pittman. But man, how could you say no to Adonai Mitchell? Bills. It feels weird for Chop to fall too. Like I think Chop is probably, I would say he's the best edge prospect in the class. It's just kind of hard to slot him in a lot of places. So like with the Bills here, they could use a wide receiver. Like Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir shouldn't stop you from taking a guy. They got Connor McGovern from Dallas. I don't think that's a good Connor McGovern. Then defensively, like Chop doesn't really fit their MO on defense. They could use a DT. They'd probably use a cornerback too. Yeah, just a weird team. Like Chop would be so nice, but JPJ could fit too. Yeah, just build through the trenches. I think he's someone that could play guard. But if they want to keep him at center, go right ahead. Lions. This one's gonna be a fun one. Keon Coleman, get him a knee biter. Like yeah, he ran a 4.61 or whatever, but he's a pure knee biter. He's someone that is a bit more physical and good after the catch. Kind of brings a different element from Jameson Williams. A little similar to Amon St. Brown, I guess, but you could always use dudes like him. Any kneecap biters. Ravens. Just gonna go with Guyton. They lost Morgan Moses. They could use an O lineman. Guyton's kind of one of those like raw prospects, so would be interesting there. Man, really don't want Chop Robinson to fall out of the first round. I just feel like every mock draft I do, one of the edge guys just falls out of the first round. Like he would play a lot. It's like what else could they use? This team still looks good. I mean, they could use an O lineman, but you know what? Why not Chop? Why not? Just get a speedster. That's kind of what some of their backup guys are, so yeah. That'd be nice. Trying to see who they've shown interest in. Yeah, they haven't really shown any interest in Choppy yet, but who knows? Now the Chiefs. Xavier Word, he's a popular selection, but this team can use an offensive tackle too, especially with them losing Donovan Smith, and I think Kingsley Soemataya, however you say his name. I think he fits them too. I wish I could just get this all on one screen, but here's the draft. I feel okay with it. I just wanted to do some different things like taking Mims here, Latu here, while still trying to be realistic, so yeah. Neat.